Guys, in this video we're going to take the Lambo out for a little spin, and I'm also going to talk to you about something that's been requested quite often, is what jobs did I used to have. So I'm going to start you off right at the beginning, when I left school, all the way through all the jobs that I had, and yeah, you kind of know what I do now anyway. I sell on eBay and make YouTube videos. Alright, let's go. Alright, so starting off going to school, I never did well at school. I always failed at everything that I did. I kind of really struggled to focus and to knuckle down, and when people told me what to do, I kind of had a short attention span. And I think that's probably because I didn't really enjoy anything that I kind of did there. I kind of like the hands-on metalwork stuff, but all the paperwork, stuff like that, I never enjoyed it. So I never did well at school. When I left school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I went to college for a bit, did an engineering course. I dropped out of that early on and failed because I didn't enjoy that neither. The first job, this video is mainly about the jobs that I had. So the first job that I had was actually working in a tool making place, working on lathes and milling machines, that sort of stuff. I did that job while I was still at school. I just did a couple of hours after school, and then when I finished school, and while I was at college still actually, I did a little bit of part-time there at that job, and that job was awful. It was so repetitive. It was just standing in front of a lathe for hours and hours and hours and hours, and just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again, and it was so repetitive. You could stand there for a whole week just doing the same old repetitive task, just over and over and over, and oh my god, it was boring. It was bad. So I finished school, I went to college. I still kind of did it a little bit. I sort of did it when I had the time to do it. I was on like £2.50 an hour. That works out about $3 an hour. I'm sure the company wasn't really that legitimate because I wasn't paying any tax. I didn't get any paperwork. They just gave me the cash. So everything about that place was probably completely illegal. I did injure myself there a little bit. I cut my finger on this cutting wheel, but my god, that was a bad job. When I cut my finger, the boss just goes, make sure you don't get blood on the work, and that job was bad. I mean, that was my first job that I ever had, and I really hated it. I really did not enjoy that job one bit, like not at all. I hated it. And the boss that owned the company, he was standing a couple of machines behind me, so he could always see what I was doing. If I just said one word to the person behind me, he'd be straight on the case. You're paid to work, not to talk. And it was so bad. They used to push me and try and get more out of me, and you couldn't go to the toilet without them timing you. You couldn't even go and get a drink without him counting how many drinks you've had that day. And that job, it was bad. It was really bad. I mean, I left that job, and I kind of dropped out of college. And I left that job kind of roughly about the same time, and I got a job at Market One. So this is a cheapo shop. Market One is a junk shop. Let's make this thing a bit quieter. It's got different modes on here, you see. You can have it in race mode, and all the clocks go like this, and then it goes really fast and makes loads of noise, or you can put it into this mode here, and then it goes quieter. So anyway, I quit that job. I quit college. I didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, didn't get on well with it. Done a couple of exams and failed them. So I went and worked at this cheapo shop. It was a junk shop, Market One it was called, just selling old junk. And oh man, that was a boring job. It just stacking shelves basically. It was just brain dead and boring. They played the same old cassette tape, like repetitively, like all day long, and it just kept going on and on and on, and had cameras in there and they could see exactly what you did. It was just soul destroying. Got a little bit of a pay rise. I got about £4 an hour there, probably about $5, but it was soul destroying. And my mum always said, just find a job somewhere else. You can't just be doing this all your life. And I didn't know what I wanted in life. I didn't enjoy school, I didn't enjoy college, I didn't enjoy any of the jobs that I had before, the one job that I had before. So anyway, a buddy of mine, he knew that I liked hands-on kind of stuff. I liked making things. And he said, look Kev, there's a welding job. Why didn't you apply for it? And I was like, well, I can't weld. I had an old Ford Fiesta back in the day. Had like, I remember it had holes in the floors. And if I had stuff on the dashboard and it fell off, it would go through the floor and it would disappear. So that car was a complete piece of junk. The clutch used to slip on it. I mean, the thing was a heap. I mean, the person I bought it off, he probably saw me coming. I didn't know what I was looking for. The thing was a piece of junk. So I had to try and weld it up myself. I bought this welder, I tried to weld it all up myself. So my buddy said, you know, you can do welding, why don't you go for this job? And it said in there training given and all that. So I thought, you know what, why not give it a go? So I rang up the number. He says, come down, have a little chat. I went down there and he said, can you weld? I was like, no, well, I've done a few patches on my car. I mean, I'm not an expert. I need to learn how to do it all. So he says, yeah, okay. Do you think you could put a shelf up on the wall? I was like, yeah. He goes, all right. He goes, why don't you come in for a trial, give it a go, see how you get on. So, whoa, I don't know if you can see that Jeep there. Pretty cool car. So I went in, gave it a go. They started me off fitting these racks onto glass carrying vans. So the normal vans, and we used to build these racks that bolt onto the side. It was called Glass Transport System. The company's gone now. They don't exist anymore. They've gone bankrupt. But anyway, I started off helping fit in these racks to the van, and then as I was there for a bit longer, they started getting me welding, and that's where I made my first toolbox. If I remember, I'm going to put that toolbox in as a little clip here. I use it now for charging batteries in. I still have the box, because they were getting me to weld up all these random bits of metal, random bits of pieces and stuff. And I said, if I'm just going to be just spending days and days just welding up little bits of metal just to practice, can I make a toolbox? And he was like, yeah, sure. So I made a toolbox, and I quite enjoyed that job. It was quite good. I quite enjoyed it. Good bunch of guys. They had a laugh, and I kind of stayed there for a couple of years. I think it was a couple of years, maybe a year. I don't know. I've never really kept track of time and dates and years and all that. But anyway, they moved. They moved to a different factory, which was like 100 miles away, roughly. And they offered me to come along with them. So I came along, but he said, you know, if we come over there, he's going to rent a house for us for 6 months, and if we like it, then we can go and get buy our own house or rent our own house or whatever. So I said, all right, I'll come along for the 6 months, see what it's all about. And it sucked severely. I mean, to cut a long story short, before, when we worked at the first place, there was a different person making all the different parts. So there was one person was making the racks, another person was making the racks that go on the inside, another person made all the little parts. There's probably about, I don't know, 15 people, hands-on people doing metal work and woodwork and fabrication and making things. And when we went to the new place, there was just 2 of us and the foreman. So 3 of us doing all the work. And he still expected the same amount of work out of us that we did when there was like a whole workforce. And he used to sort of like put the pressure on, and the atmosphere there wasn't nice. The workshop wasn't set up properly. There wasn't the right equipment there, and he just kept pressuring to try and get the jobs done. And there was no plug sockets anywhere. You couldn't plug the machines in. Nothing was set up. A lot of the time we had to work outside in the parking lot because the door wasn't big enough to get some of the vans in, some of the trucks in, and the working conditions were bad. And I know it would have got better in time, but it was bad. And I used to come back on the weekends to see friends and family and all that. So I used to come back, and the boss didn't like that. He said you shouldn't do that. You should just stay there and build a new life here. So anyway, Sunday night one day, cut a long story short, I was driving back. I live near London, so driving back from London area, driving up to Oxford, and car broke down. I don't know, a bit like the Rover I got now, but the model beforehand, the square Rover. I had one of those. It broke down, so I rang him up and I said, dude, I'm going to be late tomorrow. My car's broken down. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to be late. I don't know how I'm going to get to work, but I'm going to try and find a way. I'll let you know as soon as I know, but just to let you know, I'm not going to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. And the dude goes, well, your job could be on the line. You know, you have to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning. If you're not here, then your job can be on the line. And by this point, I was so fed up with the job anyway. I mean, we've been working out in the parking lot at like 10 o'clock at night, pouring down with rain, in awful working conditions. We helped the bloke move. We moved all of his workshop, all of his tools. We loaded up the lorries, and we spent weeks helping him set up the new workshop. Yeah, I got paid for doing it. But I mean, we bent over backwards to help him set up his new business. And then when my car broke down, he couldn't even cut me any slack. He couldn't even say, you know what, yeah, all right, come in when you can. He just said, well, you've got to be here at 8 in the morning. If you're not here, then your job can be on the line. So he goes, how are you going to get here? So I said, look, I don't know yet. I'm going to try and get a lift with a friend. I might get the train, I don't know yet. I'm going to figure it out and I'll let you know when I know. So he goes, right, here's what you're going to do. You're going to ring me at 6 o'clock in the morning and you're going to tell me how you're going to do it. So I was so fed up at that point, I said, all right, you know, whatever. So it rings me up at 6 in the morning. Should we do a bit of an acceleration test here? When you've got a car like this, you've got to have a little bit of fun. Got a motorbike behind, I don't know what he's going to do. Oh my God, this car is fast! Woo! Oh my God. So anyway, back to sensible mode. Back to sensible mode. He rings. I got to 6 in the morning and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to ring him. I'm fed up. I don't even want this job. I'm sick of it. I didn't really want to go anyway to start with when he persuaded me to come to this job. So he rang me up at 6. Well, no, sorry. 6 o'clock came. I set the alarm. I didn't ring him up. He rings me up at 8. He goes, right, have you made any plans yet? I said, look, dude, I haven't yet. I said, give me another hour and I'll make some arrangements. So he goes, right, here's what you're going to do. You're going to pack your bags and you're going to go to King's Cross. From there, you're going to drive to Oxford and we're going to pick you up. So I just sort of thought for a minute and I said, nah. I said, sorry, nah. I said, I can't be bothered. And he goes, what? What? He goes, that is not the right attitude to have, he tells me. I said, you know what? I said, I'm done. I said, I'm finished. I don't want a job anymore here. I'm finished. I'm never going to come back. I'm done. All right, let's put it into sport mode again. Here we go. Woo-hoo-hoo! Man, this thing flies. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, look at that limo. Man, this car's fast. Every time I go in it, it just puts a big smile on my face. Someone said in the comments, actually, I look scared of it. And like, yeah, it is a bit scary because it's fast, man. 0 to 60 in like 2.5 seconds. I mean, it puts you back into seat. Puts a big smile on your face, though. So anyway, I said to the dude, you know what? I'm done. I'm never coming back. So he goes, oh, all right then. All right. So that was that. He rang me back a few times, tried to get me back, offered me a pay rise, but I was done with that job. So anyway, I've got a job at a place that was more local, doing a bit of TIG welding, a new form of welding. They taught me how to do it. This was a great company, actually. I quite enjoyed it. You had your own little welding booths. You sat down. It was clean. It was making shop fittings. Nice job. I really enjoyed it. Trouble was, they went bankrupt and then they got bought out. And the company that bought them out, they moved them over to another town, which wasn't that far away. It was only half an hour drive. But again, the working conditions there, they really sucked. They expected too much out of us. It was a massive workplace. It was about the size of Walmart or Tesco's. Massive, great big place. And it wasn't great. They was breathing down our backs. Working conditions weren't great. They kept expecting more and more and more, breathing down our necks. And then they come out with this new health and safety where they made us wear earplugs because it's so loud. But they were actually breaking the law. They were breaking the law because by law they had to do what they had to do to keep the noise under a certain level, and they didn't. They had all the noisy machines in the quiet area. I was TIG welding. TIG welding makes no noise. All these punching machines and grinders and stuff going on. So instead of putting that into different rooms, cut a long story short, they were breaking the law, and to try and save money they said to us that we have to wear earplugs. And these earplugs were like this long, and they wanted them pushed all the way in, so like it's almost all the way in, you can't see it. So this was uncomfortable, made me feel like not with it. It made me feel almost dizzy in a way. It was a weird feeling, but it wasn't a nice feeling anyway. So I never really pushed them in all the way, and they used to like give me so much grief saying you've got to put them in, you're going to get sacked. So I used to cut them in half and then just put them in so it looked like they're in. And they kind of figured that out after a while that I was doing that. Someone snitched on me, grasped me up. So when it came down to it, I said, look, you're breaking the law. you can't make me put these earplugs in. It's making me like in all day long. You have to have these in. It was not nice. It was making me feel dizzy, as I said. So they said if I don't put them in, I'm going to lose my job. Anyway, the company started getting into trouble again. They didn't pay us 1 month. They called us all up in the office and they said, everyone, we're not getting paid. The company's got no money. Oh, this roundabout here actually, Stempy had a little mishap. That's a different story. I'm going to let Stempy say that story if he wants. It's up to him if he wants to say that story or not. Let's do a bit of acceleration again. Let's get it straight first. Here we go, straight. Oh my God, here we go. 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds. Put the brakes on before we speed too much. Anyway, the company was in problems. I'm sorry if I digress a little bit, guys. And also let me know, do you prefer these videos where I'm taking you guys for a little drive to make it a bit more interesting, or do you prefer the videos where I just sit in my office? Office videos are probably a little bit more direct because I'm not getting distracted, but here you get to see a bit of scenery. Anyway, they called us up in the office and they said nobody's getting paid, the company's in trouble. Let's put it into quiet mode again, shall we? Company's in trouble, nobody's getting paid. So I might as well put it in automatic as well. There we go, in auto. Nobody's getting paid, but you have to stay here. You have to keep working, otherwise you're not going to get any redundancies. The trouble was, I was in debt at that point. I had many loans. I was thousands and thousands in debt. I built this silly Mini. I might leave that for another video if anybody's interested. But I think I was in like £34,000 in debt, like $45,000 in debt. And I needed the job to pay the loan back. I'd payment protection. But so anyway, I rang up my loan company and I said, look, I can't afford to pay the loan at the moment. The company I'm working for, they've gone bust, gone bankrupt, looking for a new buyer, but you know, they're not paying us until they found a new buyer, so I need to use the payment protection. They said you can't use it, you have to be laid off work, you have to be laid off, made redundant. So I went back to work. I said, look guys, I said you either have to pay me or you have to make me redundant, because my loan company, they're not gonna warrant the payment protection unless I get laid off. So the boss said, sorry, we're not laying anybody off, we're not making anybody redundant, we need everybody here to help pull the company through, so when we've got a buyer, then you're going to all get paid. And there was no guarantee that we're going to get a buyer. So I stayed there for a couple of weeks, I think it was, working there without pay. Obviously nobody was working very hard. The bosses kept coming around saying, come on, work harder, we need to pull the company through, and they weren't paying us. Earplugs in and all this crappy working conditions. In the end, I was in so much debt, and I had credit cards I'd taken out to sort of pay the loans, and I was just getting myself more and more into debt. In the end, I couldn't even afford to get to work anymore. So I had to quit that job and get another job that actually paid me. The trouble was, this job that I had now, that offered a lot of overtime. So I was working 12 hours a day, every single day, 84 hours a week. It was a crappy job. I mean, I was only on like £10 an hour, not even £9 an hour, about $10 an hour I was on. But I was working so many hours, and I was on double time on Sundays, 84 hours a week. And I can't remember how much I got paid. It was about £600-700 a month, a week maybe. Maybe $800 a week, something like that. But it was enough to pay my loans, and enough to sort of, you know, get by. But anyway, that company went down the pan. Couldn't pay the loan payment, so I had to get another job. The trouble was, the only job I could find had no overtime. So I went from making roughly £600 to £700 a week, I think. I can't remember the exact figures, guys. I can't remember what the exact numbers were, but it's roughly £600 a week, £700 a week. And I went down to £270 a week, and it wasn't enough to pay the loans. And I couldn't even afford to put fuel in my car anymore. And this job was pretty bad as well. They kept breathing down our necks. Bad work conditions. They made us climb into confined spaces, and I'm a bit claustrophobic. And I didn't get treated very good. This was making machines for food factories, and this is the company that actually turned me vegetarian. We had to go and work in a meat factory. I was building machines metalwork, welding up all these metal containers and stuff for food factories. If you've seen Breaking Bad and you see the lab, you see all that equipment, what they had in the lab, it's kind of stuff like that, but it's for making food and pharmaceutical stuff and stuff like that. All these big vessels and gantries and walkways, stuff like that. So the job wasn't too bad, you know. I enjoyed making the things and stuff, but it's just we didn't get treated that well by the bosses. Always breathing down our backs, always expecting more, always expecting the impossible. And I don't want to bore you with the whole story, but anyway, we just set up, we built all this equipment in the factory, and then we had to set it up in the workshop because the customers were going to come down and to have a look. And this is all multi-million dollar contracts. So we had to set it all up in the workshop. And anyway, I had to do the pipe work underneath. There's all safety guards around, but with the safety guards not there, I could get in and I could do the job and I could weld it up. But they were all quick to get all the safety guards in. And remember, at this point, I was sick of it. I was up to here. I had no money left after paying all my loans and all that. And they started putting all the safety guards around. And I was like, can you leave it for 10 minutes? Let me do my welding. And then you can put the safety guards up. No, safety guards have got to go up now. You're going to have to work around it. So now I've got to crawl underneath all these safety guards. I've got to go in and out all this pipe work. Finally, I get in there. I've got my welding torch in one hand. I've got my welding helmet in the other hand, the welding rod, and I try and get the lid down. It's like not much room to work in. My face is like this far away from the welding torch. I get in position, press the button, nothing happens. Someone unplugged my welder. So I shouted over to the boss. I was like, boss, can you plug me in? He's like, no, you're going to have to do it yourself, mate. I'm busy. I was like, dude, I'm in position. It's going to take me like half an hour to get out again. So he's like, I don't care. Just plug it in somewhere. Get on with your job. So I climbed out, plugged it in somewhere else. Climbed back in. About half an hour later, in position, put the helmet down, try and weld. Nothing. Didn't work. Someone pulled it out and did something else. I shouted over, hey, boss, can you plug me in? No, I told you, plug it in somewhere else. I said, dude, I already have. I'll keep crawling in and out of here. Can someone just please plug me in? And then I can do my job. And it's all done. You lot can get on. So nope, I've got to crawl out. There's nowhere to plug it in. Like nowhere to plug it in the whole workshop because everyone had stuff plugged in. He goes, well, plug it in over there. Get an extension lead. There weren't no extension leads. So I'm looking everywhere. No extension leads. The boss is going, oh, just you'll find one. Just have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? Breathing down my back. Saying, come on, hurry up. I was like, dude, give me power. I'll do it. I can't weld without the machine being plugged in. So anyway, it went on. I couldn't find the power lead. Boss is like, have you done it yet? He's like, no, I cannot find the power lead. He's like, well, go to the electricians and get them to make you one. So I went to the electricians. I said, can you make me a power lead? They're like, I haven't got time. I was like, I physically cannot do the job. I cannot plug it in. Boss is giving me more grief, saying, come on, get it done. Job's on the line, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God. I was sick of it. I went and sat on the toilet for half an hour just to try and think about my options. And I thought, right, the money I'm getting isn't even enough to pay my loans. I can't afford to get to work. What can I do? What can I do? I had a word with my friend. He says, stay here, it's a good job. I went up to the office. He goes, have you done the job yet? Have you done it yet? I said, look, mate, I'm done. I'm leaving. He goes, when are you leaving? I was like, now. I'm finished, I'm done. I can't do it anymore, I'm finished, I've got to go now. And, you know, what could he say? I went, and that was it. That was my last job. And that was, I think, about 11 years ago now. I've always been saying it was 10 years ago, but I had a look at the paperwork just now, and it's like, it's 11 years ago now when I quit that job. And I said to myself, I'll never, ever, ever want a job again. And from that moment onwards, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. But I knew I did not want to work for somebody else anymore. But what tickled me, what really sparked my imagination, what made me feel excited, was I saw people making money from the internet. And I thought, this is too good to be true. You know, when stuff's too good to be true, it usually is. So I looked into it a bit more. I tried a few things over the years. I tried many things. I read many books. I tried many things. I tried Shopify. I tried Amazon. I tried eBay, YouTubing. I tried affiliate marketing, making articles and selling affiliate products. you name it, I tried it. I tried everything, online surveys. And I kind of made it my kind of destiny to figure out a way of making money online. What I did start doing was welding up a few tanks. I did banger racing. For those of you that don't know what banger racing is, it's a bit like demolition derby like you have in America, but it's a lot more vicious, it's a lot more violent, it's a lot faster hitting, a lot more crashing. And I used to make these water tanks and petrol tanks for that. I made them for my own car. And I started making a few of these and selling them on eBay, and I started making a bit of money doing that. And then my brother's friend, his dad, they make burger trailers, and they had a dude that done all the welding for them. So they said to me, can I do their welding? So I was like, maybe. So I went down, and they need the chassis making for the trailer. That was my job, welding up the trailer, and then they build all the box on top and fit it out and turn them into burger trailers, like catering trailers. So I did that in his workshop, and then I kind of figured out I might as well get my own workshop here, because I was making these banger tanks. I was making them out of my garage, and I thought, well, if I can get this job making burger trailers, then I could get a little workshop. I could make the trailers in there, and I could do my little eBay stuff I'm selling on there, the little tanks I'm making, and maybe I can make some more stuff as well. So I did that, and it was a bit hit and miss. Sometimes I made money, sometimes I didn't. It wasn't really enough to pay the bills. And I was still in a lot of debt. I was still trying to make enough money so I can pay all the bills and pay all the debts and everything. And it wasn't really working out that well, so I had to do a bit of a sideline job. So I did a little bit of truck driving, bit of lorry driving. You call them semis over in America. Here in the UK, articulated lorries, or class 1, class 2s. So I was doing a little bit of that for the agency, just a bit here and there when they needed me and when I needed the money. And I did that for a little while, for a few months, and I soon got fed up with that as well. And I didn't really enjoy it, and the health kind of, it wasn't doing my health any good. You know, doing all the welding, I was breathing in fumes, I was doing the grinding, and I was coughing up blood at one point. And even though I was wearing dust mask, all the fumes and everything was still in the air, and it was giving me bad back and my hands. I got all dermatitis. I had all this eczema looking stuff all over my hands, and it was just doing my health no good, and I wasn't making any money. So I kind of quit all that as well. I quit the lorry driving, I quit the welding, and again I was like, I don't know what to do. So I revisited the making money online again, and I dedicated. I said to myself, right, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to put everything into it. I'm going to try and make money online, and that's what it's going to be. I don't want to workshop anymore. I don't want to weld anymore. If I do welding and making things, it's going to be for myself, for my hobby, not for other people. So we can make a bit of noise here. Alright, enough of that. I've got to behave now. 30 limit, 30 mile an hour limit. So yeah, so anyway, I've tried all these different ways of making money online. I started off with, actually I'm going to make that a different video, because this video's gone on long enough. God knows how long this video's gone on for now. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what I've done, but then we're going to call it a day for this one. So I tried doing online marketing, and this was via affiliate marketing, and I'm not going to go through it all now, but I signed up on an affiliate platform, ClickBank. I signed up on ClickBank, and it's other people's products that you can sell, so ebooks, online courses, all sort of stuff like that. So I tried to sell that stuff through many different ways, and actually I'm going to make this a different video, guys. I mean, I spoke about all this before. This video is long enough, but I tried affiliate marketing, I tried online articles, I tried all the other stuff that I said, and I'll tell you that the thing what actually made me the success the soonest and the easiest was by selling on eBay. So I'm not going to go into a big thing now of eBay. I'm going to put a quick link down below if you want to know more about the eBay thing, because all the other stuff that I tried, as I said, none of it really worked out that well. And when I sort of hit the eBay, I started getting results. So I'm going to put a link down below if you want to know more. And that is it for this video. So click the link down below, thumbs up if you like the video, check out some of these other videos, and check out the eBay link down below, and I'll let you know more how I got successful on eBay. I mean, I've made hundreds of thousands on eBay now. I've helped hundreds of people make online success on there. So anyway, click the link down below. That is it for this video, and I will see you soon. Bye.